Here I'm now drying the embankment that I've done so far with the hairdryer. And you may notice it's gone very, very dark here, very, very dark indeed. In fact, what that means is if you look at a room that's been freshly plastered, it goes very, very dark once it's gone on the wall and starts to set up, and then it will dry back to the light colour. The same thing applies here. I'll continue with this. I'm sorry about the noise, but I will continue with it for just for a short period, then I'll continue to carry on along the embankment. Now you see it's starting to get light here now. Along the sleepers it's getting lighter, and along here it's getting lighter. That means the moisture is coming out of the decorative plaster. Right, I'll leave that while it's still warm, and I'll continue along the embankment with the fresh mix of decorative plaster. I ran out a minute ago, now I've got some more, so here we go. It actually is, as I said earlier, very, very quick and actually very satisfying when you do this. This is probably just a little bit too thick. I'll just add a little bit more water to that, and it only needs a drop. Oh, probably too much. Let's have a little go. See. Oh yeah, that's okay. Don't forget, in this mix I have PVA glue, so it does make it really sticky, as you can see. Really sticky. Now that's better. Let's put it along there. I think once you've got this on, I know it dries fairly quickly, and as I've speeded it up with the hairdryer. But it's always a good ploy really to leave it for a couple of days if you can afford the time, really to stow up really hard, which it will do. There we go, it's coming along rather nicely, as I keep saying, but it really is. It's a part of the model making, and the scenic model making in particular, that I really enjoy, because you can see the fruits of your previous work come to light or come to fruition. You get to see the form that you've created in the mod mesh world with the foam board profiles, and you can see how that will look when it's covered in grass and general rocks and stuff. That's a good point actually, I haven't mentioned it before, but if you want to make a rocky outcrop, at this stage is probably the easiest time to do it. I'll mix up some more and show you what I mean. Could do with a little bit more powder paint in that. That's it. What I'm going to do is use a dry spatula or a palette knife. This one's a plastic one, to mix it all up. I cannot reiterate really more than every time you knock some of this stuff up, you knock it up dry, and the colour there that you see will be the colour it it'll dry back to. Please remember that when you're mixing it up, because as I said, you watch this, it will go very, very dark. There we go, it's going to dark now, you see. Actually, what I haven't done here is added any PVA glue. I better do that. Just probably a bit too much, but we'll see. Actually, probably never enough sometimes. A bit like, not that I've done much of it, cake mixing. Strangely enough, I've actually put too much water in that. Now, all the years I've been doing it, and I still don't get it right first time. And I'll go and get some more powder and put that in there. It's warts and all, this video, so, you know, we all make mistakes. And it's quite nice to show that you do, you know, we're not all perfect. I'm going to knock in this in the white, because then you can see how it thickens up. You see it goes to lumps. Now it's starting to thicken up. And that actually is the PVA glue in with the mix. Now I want it really, really, really firm at this stage, and bearing in mind while it's still wet or damp, I can actually add more water to it in the pot if I want to make it a bit more spreadable, shall we say. Right, let's move that out of the way. Making a rocky outcrop can't be easier, really. I've got a really thick, heavy piece of Artex there. Sorry, decorative plaster. I will not get used to that, it seems. So I've got a bit of decorative plaster on there. Now I'm going to change my palette knife to a finer one. Right, so it's a smaller, finer palette knife. A little bit of water on the tip of that, and you can see you can work it into the existing decorative plaster. It's always a good idea to have photographic evidence of the rock that you're trying to replicate. I know what the rock is here. I know what it looks like, so forging ahead, because I've done this before. But if you're first or new at it or haven't done any of this before, it's always good to, if you're modelling in a certain area, like I'm doing North Wales, in particular Snowdon and around Llanberis there, and up at Dinorwic in particular again. I know the rock is what it looks like. So we've done a little rocky outcrop there, nice and sharp, where it's been cut through. Just let it go off a little bit. And then with the palette knife on edge, you can then add the detail while it's still wet. I'm going to show you how that works with this particular one, but I will actually take it back to where I want to be. But you see, if you want to make it really crumbly rock, you have the option of dragging the palette knife through it and making it a little bit more rock-like. The beauty of this, of course, is that when you come to put vegetation on it, you can put any amount of vegetation on it, and some areas you can just leave. But I will suggest maybe you paint it first with watercolours. That's my chosen medium, because I find that with the Artex you can make quite subtle changes in colours. Any of you who have not seen my books or seen any of my videos before, I'm repeating basically what I've said in those. And you can look out my book. It shows you how to do in the smaller scales. Well, it actually works in the bigger scales as well. The book is called Creating Realistic Landscapes for Model Railways, and it's from well, it's on the net. You have a look it up on the net. I produced it in a step-by-step version, really, so all the photographs show you the steps as we're doing here, really, but this is live, as it were, as live you can be on YouTube. Although I could go live on YouTube, but I tend to like to do it in video format. There we go. So you've got a little bit of a rocky outcrop on the embankment. I will continue now to put a little bit more water in that. I actually need to get some more just to make it a little bit more spreadable. That's enough. I will continue on to the end of the embankment, and then we'll end the video there, and you can have a look at what I've been up to. I'll pan along if you can't see it all the way along to see what it looks like.